Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. I am the host, T Money, and today we're going to be doing a recap on the whole Bulls season. So, the Bulls ended their season with a loss to the Miami Heat in the play-in tournament. The Bulls finished ninth in the East at 39 and 43. And for the most part, this was pretty much an up and down season. We had some trades, we had some injuries, we had some players, young players developing throughout this season. So this was pretty much like up and down. We kind of stuck in that mediocrity the last 3 or 4 years. We've been stuck in the play-in tournament. I'm not sure why we don't either build through the draft or just trade for somebody or trade somebody to make this roster a better roster. I look up and down, and we have some good players, but there are some things that we are lacking on both offense and defense. So, let's get straight to it. So, the Bulls season recap. So, they ended up finished ninth in the East, finishing with a 39 and 43 record. And for the most part, our offense was pretty great. We got a lot of young players that can get up and down the floor. We beat a lot of teams just by that, with our pace and everything. And we finished sixth in points per games in the NBA with 117.8, third in rebounds with 45.9, fifth in assists with 29.1, 15th in field goal percentage at 47%, 13th in three-point percentage at 36, and 28th in opponents' points per game with 119, giving up 119.4 points per game. So that just goes to show where our struggles at. We're pretty much top 10 in almost every category. So that just goes to show pretty much where we struggle at on the defensive end, because everything was pretty much great. If we was to remain healthy, everything looked good young roster, good young players. So these are the stats for the team leaders for the Bulls. So Kobe White led the team in points per game, averaging 20.4. Vucevic in rebounds with 10.1. Josh Giddey led the team in assists, 7.2. Josh Giddey led the team in steals, 1.2. And Booz Ellis, the rookie, led the team in blocks with zero point 0.9 blocks. So leading into the first half of that season, we ended up going 18 and 28. It was a real struggle for us, defensively especially. We had a lot of pieces around us. So starting off this season, we pretty much got off to a rough start, man. We went 18 for 28 in the first half of the season. Really don't know what to say about that first half. I seen just lackluster defense. I didn't see a whole lot of camaraderie. It was just tough out there. I'm not sure what the game plan is in building this team, but it just looked like we just fine with just being stuck in mediocrity, being in a play-in tournament for the past 3 seasons in a row. I just did not like what I was seeing. Starting off, no offense, bad defense, lack of interior defense kind of was really like the main thing that was holding us back. Pretty much for the first half of the season, losing 28 games before All Star Weekend. Then we ended up making a trade. February 3rd, we traded a three-team trade with the Kings, the Bulls, and the Spurs. And the Bulls ended up getting Zach Collins, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, and a 2025 first-round pick back from San Antonio. And this trade, it was like good, but at the same time, it wasn't really like helping. Like I know about Zach Collins being a handoff, pick and roll type big, can rebound, run the floor, he can block some shots. He's a good big. He fit the young team. He can run. I like Zach Collins at the five. Trey Jones is a pass first point guard, smart, no win and win not to shoot the ball, can pass, can get everybody else involved. Kind of undersized for a guard, so he fights on defense, but he's not really like known for a defensive player. Kevin Huerter, 6'7", two guard, big, can shoot. I know these players, and these was good pickups for us. But going after that trade, we ended up going 18 for 15 after the trade, and then I did see a good pickup on offense when they moved Kobe White from the point guard to the shooting guard, because Zach LaVine was kind of holding back those opportunities for him to flourish in his scoring role. Because to me, Kobe White is not a point guard. Kobe White is a shooting guard. He's 6'5", and a lot of people don't even know that this dude is 6'5". Maybe because his arms are too short. I don't know what the case may be, but when you got somebody like that can really shoot threes, can get to the rim, can finish over your big, a lot of his offensive skills is underrated to me. So that was a pretty good trade, freeing up that young roster. This is kind of like the direction that they was going to, kind of like developing a young talent. Because I was kind of stuck between, okay, are we building through the draft, or are we developing who we got now? And I seen after this trade that this is the direction they going. So after the trade, we went 18 and 15, still a subpar record, not really a great record, but it's not bad. I would love to see them do better. The pretty much the main thing is defense. That's one place where we struggle at. We struggle at wing defense. We don't have a lot of people on the wings that could laterally move and stay in front of these shifty big two guards. The point guards, two guards, and stuff like that. So, and then we can't really stop nobody from getting into the paint. So the defense lacks and from the perimeter to interior because of just overall the effort too. You can't really blame the coaching staff. I do see Billy Donovan, like, it doesn't matter if he came straight out of the timeout 2 seconds ago. If he see that they're not playing defense, he calling timeout again. You can't really blame the coaching staff on the subpar defense. You gotta really blame the players on this, and the personnel that we have around us should be able to make us better on defense. So that's why I'm gonna constantly say this and constantly hang my hat on it: defense, defense, defense. Because that's the only, like, the main thing that was wrong with this team that they built for this season. Since I'm talking about that, let's just get straight to the negatives of the season. The lack of interior defense. Vucevic needs to get traded just like everybody else did. We need to get some more bigs, some fours, some fives, some people that can slide their feet, some people that don't slow the game down by trying to run the ball through the post. It's not the 90s. We not playing inside, outside. We ripping and running and rebounding and we going. He slows down the offense, has no type of effort on defense. I am really tired of seeing him in a Bulls uniform. It seems like they just cool with being stuck in mediocrity. I'm not sure what the direction is or what the front office. It seems like the front office is telling them, like, hey, slow it down with the winning. Like, we don't want to win too much now. Let's just keep it so we can keep our attendance, get a city some hope that, what I'm saying, we could make the playoffs instead of just actually just going for it and building. I'm not sure why we stuck in mediocrity. And it was a couple bad signings with that whole LaVine trade. Didn't have to deal with that contract. Contract was massive. It was crazy. I don't know why we signed him to that much money. And we need to start developing the young talent around us. Patrick Williams is not a starter. He needs to be coming off the bench. Tre Jones, I like the addition of Tre Jones. Kevin Huerter, Zach Collins. We got THT. We got Ayo, who's going to be a free agent this summer. Not sure what the direction of him is going to be. This team is real guard heavy, so we need to figure out the guard rotation on who's going to be standing, who's going to be leaving. We can't have 5, 6 point guards and shooting guards on one team, and we don't have a big. But we got Jalen Smith, Zach Collins, and Vucevic, and those are only front court players. So we need to figure out the guard rotation and just get better front interior defense. And the Bulls have to next season. The Bulls have to come out and just come out swinging on some of these games. A lot of these games got off to late starts. Then we have to claw and fight our way back in the third and fourth quarter. If we just came out and just smacked them straight out the gate, then the games wouldn't even be this close, and we probably win some of these games. What are we done with the negatives? We just gonna get into the positives. So I did like the emergence of Coby White. Like I said, him being a score first guard and him being able to be that open up the offense for everybody else, because now he's on everybody's scouting report. He's on everybody's game plan. Like, we got a game plan for Coby White because he's the leading scorer on the Bulls. You don't want him to give you 30, 40. And we seen in the second half of the season him just go off, get 32, 33. He had 5 or 6, 7, 8 games of 20-plus points in the second half of that season. And I did like the re-signing of Lonzo Ball. He's a great addition when healthy. He's a big guard. Also, Lonzo is 6'6", not really a ball dominant, a ball hog, I should say, not ball dominant, a ball hog, I should say. He can facilitate, can defend, can get a lot of people in the offense quick, and I really like the re-signing of him. That was a good positive to let us know, like, okay, we going young, so that's the sense of direction of where this franchise really want to go. They want to go young, they want to build. So the sooner we trade Vucevic, the better. The second half of this season was a good second half because the record slightly improved. From the first half, we was 18 from 28 to 18 to 15. So the second half, the record slightly improved. So it was good that they picked up their intensity on both ends of the floor. That was a positive for this season. The second half, to how we showed what this team can really do, and the addition of Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey really needed a change of scenery, and it worked out for both teams, both franchises. They got a guard, perimeter defender in Caruso to help out with those Western Conference guards, and we got a point forward like a kind of like Alonzo Ball, but a little bit taller. Giddey, Lil Josh, like, what, 6'8", Lonzo like 6'6". Zoe can shoot a little bit better than Giddey, but Giddey improved every facet and every flaw they had Josh Giddey lacking in. He improved throughout the season, so that was also a good addition. Josh Giddey, a lot of people want to talk down on him. He had a crazy game winner against the Lakers, and when he's not on the floor, I do see a slower offense. So he does help this team get on a run because that's playing towards his strengths. He's a pass first, like a big guard. And overall, the coaching was real consistent. Coach Billy Donovan, he was a great coach. and he does a great job with not allowing this team to give up and tell them just what I'm saying, keep their heads up and just keep fighting and stay resilient. So Coach Billy Donovan is a great coach. I love this coaching staff, how they connect with the young players. It's just, to me, it's just the front office. Like, y'all have to figure out, are we gonna actually go for it and actually try to make the playoffs and actually try to compete and actually try to, what I'm saying, have some type of success in the postseason, because it just seemed like they just telling them like, hey man, not too much winning, what I'm saying, y'all need to lose a little bit more, like, or something. I don't know what's going on in that front office, upper management, owners. Y'all need to get it together, because this is a good team, it's a good roster full of good young players. Y'all just got to put the right pieces in them, get some front court pieces, get some power forwards, some centers, somebody that can defend and protect the rim and can run like if we had Bam Adebayo or Kevin Ware, somebody, one of those two out of Miami, or we had like a young, big that can run and defend, that'll be a great addition to this team. And if we get a bench, it'll be good. So it is some upside to this roster that we do have already. It's some positives to it, and I just can't wait for next year to see what they're gonna do, see who they're gonna keep, see who they're gonna let go. So the season grade, I'm gonna get this season a C plus, only because I know the real potential behind this franchise and what it can do, and it just seems like they're just okay with just being stuck in mediocrity. And it's been the last 2 or 3 years we just been making a play in and going home. We make these runs towards the second end of the season, and it's like we just give up after that. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Okay, we made the play in. Y'all can quit now. Y'all can give up now. That's just what it seemed like. So the season grade is a C plus. Would have been higher if I really seen some consistency on winning, but something up with that management and that ownership. It's really something up with that. So the sooner we figure that out, the better. But for the most part, I love watching this young team. I love my Chicago Bulls. I'm gonna love them forever. And thank everybody for watching. Make sure you like, share, leave a comment. See y'all next time.